All right, welcome to another deep dive. This time we're exploring the idea of Wifi money, making money online.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, we're going off this document we found, how to make wifimoney.pdf. It's got some pretty interesting ideas.
Oh, like what?
Well, some of the things you'd expect, like coding or, editing.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are things like, get this, reselling tickets for events.
Like a digital scalper. I guess that could be lucrative if you know what you're doing.
That's exactly what got my eye. It's called event reselling, and the document makes it sound so easy.
Easy. I'm not so sure.
Well, they say you buy tickets at face value, and then when the event sells out, you resell them at a profit. Like you're your own ticket master running it all from your couch.
Okay, I see the appeal. But there's got to be more to it than that. It's not just about buying a NY ticket, right?
You're right. It's about knowing which events are going to be super popular, the ones that are guaranteed to sell out.
So it's like predicting the future of entertainment. Got to have your finger on the pulse, I guess.
Exactly. It's not just about knowing, say, which band is hot. It's about knowing which show, at which venue, on what date is going to be the one everyone wants to go to.
You need to understand the market, the fans, the venue capacities.
Totally. And the document even suggests that once you start making money, you reinvest it to get even more tickets for bigger events.
Wow. So it's like you build a whole reselling empire. But hold on, doesn't that raise some, ethical questions?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to be a savvy entrepreneur, but if it means regular fans are stuck paying crazy prices.
Yeah, the document doesn't really get into that, but it's definitely something to think about. Okay, moving on. Let's talk coding. I gotta admit, this one always makes me feel a bit intimidated.
Me too. But the document basically calls it a superpower in today's world, and it's not wrong.
No, not at all. It's the foundation of everything online. And the demand for good coders, huge. They even say you could make over $100,000 a year.
Seriously. But, I mean, just knowing how to code isn't enough, right? Like,
Yeah.
You need to specialize in something.
You got it. The document highlights web development, apps, data science. Those are where the big bucks are.
Makes sense.
Ah.
So where do you even start?
Well, they talk a lot about LinkedIn, not just for finding jobs, but showing off what you can do, connecting with other coders.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about networking.
Right. It's who you know and who knows what you know. That actually reminds me of editing, because every coder needs someone to make their portfolio look amazing, right?
Good point. And the document does cover editing. They say it's about more than just fixing grammar. It's about shaping the message, making things clear and powerful, whether it's writing, audio, video.
And it's needed everywhere. Websites, YouTube channels, businesses. Everyone needs a good editor.
Exactly. And the document suggests using social media to find clients, even building your own team of editors to handle bigger projects. They even talk about creating online courses. Like, you become the editing expert.
Well, so you go from polishing other people's work to teaching others how to do it.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you need different editing skills depending on what you're working on?
Oh, for sure. Audio editing is different from video, which is different from text. Each one has its own tricks. Okay, let's move on to something I personally find a bit mysterious. Copywriting.
Yeah, the document makes it sound like there's a lot of money to be made there, but I'm not even sure what a copywriter do.
Okay, think about those catchy slogans you hear in commercials, or those product descriptions that make you want to buy something instantly. That's a copywriter.
Oh, I see. So it's more than just writing. It's about knowing how to influence people, how to make them take action.
Exactly. It's psychology mixed with marketing, all wrapped up in clever words. And the document says copywriters can land long-term clients, becoming a crucial part of their marketing strategy.
Interesting. So it's like being a secret weapon, working behind the scenes to make things successful. You might not see their name on a billboard, but they're the ones who crafted the message that makes it stick in your head.
Love that analogy. It's all about understanding the audience, their desires, their fears, and using language to tap into that.
Okay, now let's talk about something that's gotten really popular lately. Affiliate marketing. You know, those influencers who recommend products and give you special links.
Ah, yes. The document makes it sound pretty appealing. You promote stuff you like, your followers discover new things, and you get a commission if they buy through your link. It's all about using your online presence to make money.
Sounds simple, but it can't be that easy, right?
Well, no. It takes strategy. You got to choose the right products, the ones that fit your audience and that you actually believe in. And you need to build that trust, that authenticity.
So if you're like a fitness influencer, you wouldn't suddenly start promoting gardening tools, right? So they just have a very specific audience.
Good point. It's about finding that sweet spot where what you love, what your audience loves, and the products you're promoting all line up.
Okay, last one on our list. It's a classic profession, but now it's going digital. Financial advisor. I always thought this was a face-to-face thing, meeting with someone in an office, but the document says it's moving online.
It is. They talk about building a whole online community, sharing advice on social media, maybe even doing virtual consultations.
So instead of a stuffy office, you're giving tips on TikTok.
That's kind of wild. But hold on. Isn't giving financial advice a pretty sensitive thing? Like, are there rules about doing that online?
You're hitting on a key point that the document doesn't really address. Financial advice is a regulated field, so anyone thinking about this needs to do their research, make sure they're following the rules.
Right, you can't just call yourself a financial guru and start giving advice to everyone.
Definitely not. You need to be qualified, ethical, and transparent about what you can offer. Well, there you have it, our whirlwind tour of the Wifi money landscape. We've covered everything from reselling tickets to coding apps to becoming online financial gurus, all without leaving our laptops. It's amazing how many ways there are to potentially make money online these days. But, as we've seen, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
No, definitely not. There are challenges, risks, ethical considerations. It's not as simple as some people make it sound. So for our listeners, as we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, here's something to think about. Which of these Wifi money paths sparked your interest? What skills do you have that could translate into earning online? Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve deeper into the practical steps involved in actually making these Wifi money dreams a reality.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Wifi money. Last time, we went through a bunch of different ways people are supposedly making money online, all based on this document, howtomake-wifimoney.pdf. But now I'm kind of wondering, how do you actually get started with any of this? Like, the document throws out all these ideas, but it doesn't really give you a roadmap.
Yeah, that's a common feeling. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement, but turning those ideas into, actual income, that's a whole other thing.
Totally. Like, take event reselling. It sounds straightforward, but the document doesn't tell you how to predict which events will sell out or how to handle the whole buying and reselling process.
Right. It assumes you already know all that. So for anyone starting from scratch, you got to do your research, like a lot of research.
Okay, so instead of just picking a band I like, I need to understand, venue sizes, ticket prices, the band's touring history.
Exactly. It's about becoming an expert in your niche, whatever that is. You got to be able to analyze past trends, look at the market, figure out which events are most likely to sell out.
And then there's the whole technical side, right? Like learning how to use the platforms where tickets are sold, understanding their fees, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget about spotting scams. There are definitely people out there trying to take advantage of newbie resellers. It's a lot to learn.
It's starting to feel like a full-time job. And speaking of jobs, let's switch gears to coding. This is where I feel totally lost. Like, I get that it's a lucrative field, but the document just kind of assumes everyone knows how to code already.
Well, they do say it's like a superpower, so maybe they think it comes naturally. But seriously, if you're brand new to coding, the first step is figuring out what you're even interested in. Websites, apps, data. Each one's a whole different world.
And then there are all those different coding languages, right? It's not just one thing you learn.
Nope. Once you've picked your area, you got to learn the specific languages for that. The good news is there are tons of online resources, courses, even boot camps. They do mention LinkedIn as a good place to network and show off your skills once you've got them.
But it's a super competitive space, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not enough to just know how to code. You got to stand out somehow.
For sure. Building a portfolio, connecting with the right people, staying up to date on the latest trends, it's all part of the game.
Talking about portfolios makes me think about editing again, because every coder out there needs someone to make their work shine, right? And it's not just coders, it's businesses, YouTubers, anyone creating content online.
Totally. And the document does talk about editors using social media to find clients, but just like with coding, you need to be able to market yourself.
So you're saying an editor has to be their own PR person, basically?
Yeah, kinda. You got to showcase your expertise, build a portfolio, maybe even specialize in a certain type of editing, whether it's for text, audio, video, or a particular industry. And they mentioned creating online courses, which sounds interesting.
Yeah, like you go from being an editor to teaching others how to edit. But how do you even make a course? That seems complicated.
Well, there's a whole process to it, like figuring out who your audience is, planning the content, recording videos, finding a platform to host it on. It's a big project, for sure. Okay, enough about editing. Let's tackle copywriting. I still don't really get what it is.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that sounds fancy, but I need someone to explain it to me like I'm 5.
Think of it this way. It's the art of writing words that make people buy things. A copywriter's job is to take a product or service and make it sound so good that people can't resist clicking add to cart or whatever.
Oh, so it's like a mix of marketing and creative writing, but with a very specific goal in mind.
You got it. It's about understanding psychology, knowing how to persuade people, and using language in a really powerful way. The document says copywriters can get those sweet long-term clients, becoming a key part of their marketing team.
So it's not just about writing pretty words. It's about understanding how to make those words actually work for a business. And they mentioned landing long-term clients. So building relationships is important too, right?
Big time. It's a lot like any freelance gig. Networking is key. You got to reach out to businesses, connect with marketing agencies, maybe join some online groups for copywriters. Building your online presence is huge too.
Okay, so a copywriter needs to be a skilled writer, a networker, and a bit of a marketer all rolled into one. Sounds like a lot.
It is. But hey, if you're good at it, the rewards can be pretty sweet. All right, let's move on to affiliate marketing. This one seems like the easiest way to get started with wifimoney, at least from what the document says. Everyone's on social media, so it's easy to picture yourself sharing links and earning those commissions.
Right. But they barely scratch the surface of how to actually do it well. Like, it can't be as simple as just posting any random link and hoping for the best.
No, definitely not. There's strategy involved. You got to choose products that fit your niche, build an audience that trusts your recommendations, and create content that's actually engaging, not just a sales pitch.
So it's about being authentic, providing value to your followers, and not just coming across as a walking, talking advertisement.
Exactly. People can spot a fake a mile away, especially online. To be successful with affiliate marketing, you got to be genuine and build those real connections.
The document says to choose the right products, but they don't say how to do that. What makes a product right for an affiliate marketer?
It all comes down to your audience. Who are they? What do they need? What problems are they trying to solve? A good affiliate marketer does their research. They pick products they actually believe in, products that align with their brand and their values.
Okay, so it's not just about finding a product with a high commission. It's got to be something you'd actually recommend to a friend.
Exactly. Authenticity is key. Now, last but not least, let's talk about financial advisor. This is where things feel a little more serious, like you're dealing with people's money, their future. The document mentions using social media to build a community and attract clients, but they don't really talk about the practical stuff.
Or the potential problems, right? Like, isn't giving financial advice online kind of a risky thing?
Big time. And it's not something you can just jump into. Like we said before, there are laws and regulations around financial advice. You got to know what you're allowed to do and what you're not.
So you can't just start a YouTube channel and call yourself a financial guru.
Not if you want to stay on the right side of the law. And even if you've got all the right credentials, you got to be transparent with people. Tell them about your experience, your qualifications, any potential conflicts of interest. It's all about building trust.
So what kind of financial advice are people looking for online anyway? Is it like basic budgeting tips or more complex stuff?
It runs the gamut, really. Some people need help with budgeting. Some are looking for investment advice. Some need guidance on retirement planning. It's all about finding your niche and the people you can help.
And building that trust, like you said, is super important. People need to feel confident that you know what you're talking about, especially when it comes to their money.
No doubt about it. And trust takes time to build. It's about sharing valuable content, demonstrating your expertise, maybe even getting testimonials from happy clients.
Okay, so it's not just about giving advice. It's about building a whole relationship with your audience. They need to see you as a reliable source of information, someone they can actually trust.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, in the financial world, honesty and ethics are everything. You got to put your client's best interest first, always.
Okay, welcome back to the deep dive. We spent the last 2 parts exploring this whole wifimoney idea, going through all these different ways to supposedly make money online. But now it's time for a reality check. Like, what about the downsides? The things the document doesn't tell you.
Right, because it all sounds pretty amazing so far. But the internet, for all its opportunities, can also be a bit of a Wild West.
Exactly. There are scams, unrealistic expectations. It's not always as easy as it seems.
No, definitely not. And one of the biggest pitfalls is underestimating the amount of work involved. Like, just because you're working online doesn't mean it's going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah, and what about all the costs? I see ads all the time for these expensive courses that promise to reveal the secrets to online success. But how do you know what's legit and what's just hype?
That's where your critical thinking skills come in. You got to do your research, read reviews, and be realistic about what to expect. There's no magic formula for online success, no matter what those ads say.
Okay, good point. And, you know, it's not just about the money. Building an online business can be pretty isolating. And there's that pressure to present a perfect image all the time. How do you deal with all that stress?
That's a great question. It's so important to take care of yourself, set boundaries, and build a support network. Connect with other people who get it, who understand the challenges of the online world. You're not alone in this.
So let's talk about some specific challenges, like with event reselling. What are some of the potential downsides?
Well, competition is a big one. There are a lot of people trying to resell tickets, so it can be tough to stand out and get those in-demand tickets at a good price.
Then the ethical question too, right? Like, is it fair to resell tickets at inflated prices?
Exactly. You got to find that balance between making a profit and being fair to fans who just want to see their favorite band or show.
Makes sense. Okay, what about coding? The document paints it as this super lucrative career, but what are some potential downsides there?
The tech world is constantly changing, so you always have to be learning and keeping your skills up to date. It can be really demanding, and burnout is definitely a risk.
And find those high-paying clients can be tough, especially when you're starting out.
For sure. You got to build that portfolio, network like crazy, and show people what you can do. It's a competitive world.
All right, now editing seems a bit more stable, but what about the challenges there?
Even though everyone needs good editors, the competition can be fierce, especially for freelance work. Finding clients, setting rates, dealing with feedback, it's not always easy.
Yeah, and you're putting your work out there to be judged, and not everyone's going to love it.
True. You got to have a thick skin and be able to handle criticism.
Okay, what about copywriting? The document makes it sound like you can build a really solid income stream, but what are some of the potential hurdles there?
It can be a feast or famine kind of thing. You might have periods of tons of work and then nothing for a while. And there's always that pressure to deliver amazing copy that actually gets results.
So it's not just about writing pretty words. It's got to be effective, too.
Exactly. You got to understand marketing, psychology, how people make decisions. It's a whole skill set.
All right, affiliate marketing. This seems like the easiest way to get started.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things people should be aware of?
Well, just like with anything online, there's a lot of competition. You got to stand out, build trust with your audience, and choose products you genuinely believe in.
Because people can tell when you're just trying to sell them something.
Oh, yeah, they can sniff out inauthenticity a mile away.
Finally, let's talk about financial advisor. This one feels the most risky just because you're dealing with people's money. What are some of the things to watch out for?
Well, first and foremost, you got to make sure you're following all the rules and regulations. Financial advice is a heavily regulated field, and there are serious consequences for breaking the law.
Right. You can't just give anyone financial advice, especially online.
Nope. And even if you're qualified, you got to be super transparent with your clients. Always put their interests first. This isn't just about making money. It's about helping people make smart financial decisions.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. It seems like there are tons of opportunities to make Wi-Fi money, but it's definitely not as easy as it sounds.
That's a good summary. The document we've been discussing gives you some ideas, but it's just a starting point. Success online, just like in the real world, takes work, dedication, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
And it's about finding the right path for you. Not every online business is a good fit for everyone. So before you dive into anything, think about your skills, your passions, and what you're comfortable with.
Absolutely. And remember, there are always risks involved. Be smart, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask for help along the way.
Great advice. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into Wifi money. We hope you found it informative and maybe even inspiring. Who knows, maybe one of you listening will be the next big online success story. Until next time on The Deep Dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.